On the outskirts of a small town stood an old house, preserving the life stories of many years. An elderly woman silently looked out the window, feeling how the psychology of loneliness fills the silence. She glanced at the calendar. At the date that was supposed to be a celebration for the whole family. An apple pie was cooling on the table, made with the very love that is remembered from childhood. The mother's hands gently laid the tablecloth, because relationships with children are the main thing in her life. The pendulum of the clock counted down the seconds, reminding how quickly our time slips away. The phone was silent, but the hope for a call from loved ones did not fade for a single minute. Meanwhile, in a distant office, the son immersed himself in work, forgetting how important family psychology is. The daughter was busy working with enthusiasm, wasting her days on the endless city routine. And the youngest son was simply walking the noisy streets of the metropolis, not thinking of home. The mother softly touched the tablecloth, understanding how complex human psychology and choices can be. Childhood memories came alive in her mind, a time when loud laughter filled the entire garden. She picked up a framed photo where the children were together, the most touching story to tears. The invisible bond between mother and children passes through any distance and life trials. The room froze in anticipation, revealing the deep meaning of the phrase, "Family happiness cannot be bought with any money." The clock hands kept running, sparking thoughts on how often we put off what matters most. The smartphone lay on the table, symbolizing the silence that every elderly person fears so much. Turning off the kettle, she sighed, the psychology of intergenerational relationships can be complex. The elderly woman sat down and looked out the window, keeping endless parental love in her soul. Her heart still believed in a miracle, because a mother's love is capable of forgiving absolutely everything. Her eyes fell upon the old photos again, the best moments of life, recorded in the family archive. The children were smiling in the pictures, recalling that true family values never fade. She lit a single candle, softly congratulating herself and sending a prayer for the well-being of her children. Suddenly, the bright, dazzling light of car headlights cut through the darkness of the yard. Engine sounds filled the yard. In an instant, the life drama turned into a real fairy tale. Her loved ones stepped onto the porch, proving that respect for parents is stronger than any hustle and bustle. The eldest son stood on the doorstep with a bouquet of chrysanthemums and the warmest, most sincere smile. The whole family gathered together. This touching moment will melt away any loneliness. The hugs of son and mother became a symbol of how crucial the support of loved ones is in our lives. The children were whispering outside, as they had been secretly preparing this surprise for several days. The mother's eyes sparkled with happiness. The psychology of joy brought this old house back to life. The kitchen instantly filled with laughter, gifts, and that genuine family warmth. Stories from life resonated at the holiday table, bringing different generations together. The apple pie was finally sliced, and the heartfelt conversation lasted until late at night. Time, like sand in an hourglass, was a reminder: cherish your parents while they are near. The phone flashed with messages, but now real communication was more important than all gadgets. This house came alive again, proving that proper child upbringing bears its fruits. The daughter gently squeezed her mother's hand, an incredibly touching scene of sincere love. The old photo album on the table was replenished with new, vivid, and happy memories. The wall clock was no longer counting sadness, now it struck the rhythm of shared happiness. The grandson handed his grandmother a card. This is how family traditions pass from generation to generation. A commemorative group photo captured the moment when the whole family was finally together. The house glowed from within with cozy light, spreading harmony and peace all around. The mother's smile blossomed among the flowers, a life lesson on how little is needed for happiness. Empty cups remained on the table, but the silence in the house was now full and grateful. It was the best day, showing how essential it is to preserve spiritual values in connection with one's roots. Caring for loved ones is what makes us true human beings in this complex world. The granddaughter hugged her grandmother, giving her that exact feeling of safety and belonging. Two generations, the young and the old, united, symbolizing the eternal continuity of generations. Love your parents, call them more often, because their care is the most precious thing we have.